Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe was a wake-up call for a lot of people when they told us explicitly that they're far more concerned about virtue signaling and representation than they were about actually entertaining people. And that showed itself in the box office results. Box office disappointments all over Phase 4 of the MCU. And when you look at the focus they put on streaming, a lot of these shows didn't do very well either. And in fact, Disney lost $1.5 billion in just the past 3 months on streaming. That's how much success the MCU has had over there. In the middle of the Phase 4 MCU disaster, another controversy sprang up for Marvel surrounding the way that they treat their visual effects artists, the people that do the CGI, the people that not only are having to do 3 or 4 movies a year, but also these cringe television shows that require even more work than some of these movies do. They were overworked, they were underpaid, and they didn't have enough time to do these projects, which meant the visual effects looked like absolute hot garbage. Movie after movie, show after show, everyone was critical of Marvel's CGI. And with more visual effects artists stepping forward and speaking out about Marvel and how terrible it is to work for them, we discovered something pretty interesting, that there really sometimes is no plan for the MCU. People want to think that there's all this big grand plan that's happening. In reality, according to these artists behind the scenes, it's chaos. They rewrite things all the time. They have no idea how things are going to end when they start them, and it's basically a shit show. Recent Marvel projects were reportedly chaotic, fumbling behind the scenes. A report about the state of the visual effects industry in Hollywood claims Marvel Studios projects have seen messy decision-making behind the scenes. Development of Marvel Studios projects in recent years has reportedly been messy to the detriment of visual effects artists. In a new report, Marvel is singled out for the studio's lack of organization in collaborating with VFX houses for slates of cinematic releases. According to an anonymous animator who worked on past MCU projects, one frequent issue that aggravates contractors is Marvel's request to alter endings rather than stick what was initially agreed upon. The animator explains, it's like putting the last coat of paint on a car, and while you're figuring out this last coat, you're trying to decide what color you want. They don't figure stuff out early enough. And then this was even crazier to me. For people that think that that it's so planned out and all this stuff. This next paragraph is nuts. How much they are actually planning out versus how much they're telling the visual effects artists to plan it out. Another issue cited by the same artist was how Marvel apparently takes a freewheeling approach to giant set pieces. They don't figure stuff out early enough, so they rewrite, redo, and fumble in the dark for a long time while we're doing the VFX. It was just, quote, "This hero avoids many things for this amount of time." Everything was blanked. So they had an entire battle sequence set up, and they're like, okay, we want this to last, 2.5 minutes. Just figure out what you want him to do. That's it. Basically, the studio said to the VFX artist, figure it out, make it look cool. They had no idea what they wanted to do. The artist went on to explain how the issue has far-reaching consequences for the VFX field at large. Since the movies work so well, people think, oh well, that's the way to do it. That's the hard part. There's a better way that's less stressful and less expensive for sure. And when you look at these recent budgets, Thor Love and Thunder, $250 million budget. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, $250 million budget. Those are massive problems when you're getting the returns that they're getting. So not only is it ballooning the cost, but it's also resulting in shitty, terrible visual effects. And this seems to be a pattern for Marvel, and it's certainly reared its head over the past couple years. But we've heard for a while about chaos behind the scenes, that Feige's overwhelmed, that they don't know what they're doing, that it's just a shit show, that they make things up as they go, that they'll change things on a whim. And that certainly seems to be the case by the testament of all these people who are actually having to work there. And that falls right in line with some of the things we've heard from people who have worked on these streaming shows, from directors who said, yeah, they basically wouldn't let me do anything. They just came in with whatever they wanted to on a whim and changed things. I really had no control. It sounds like it's chaos at Marvel with the MCU. But I guess once you decide that not only on the screen are you going to do this, but off screen, behind the camera, in the writer's room, you're just going to hire people based on the color of their skin and who they want to sleep with, as opposed to who's actually talented. It's no longer about giving the best quality entertainment. It's no longer about telling the best story for fans. At Marvel, for quite some time, for years now, It's been about agenda in front of the camera and behind it. And it's continuing to be a problem. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.